Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I have been seeing several year-end tarot tags going around and watching the VRs, and it's been a lot of fun seeing people's favorite decks of 2020 and just hearing how people have been wrapping things up for the year. And I have certainly purchased my fair share of decks, but I've also rehomed a lot of decks. So given what I have left, I felt like I couldn't really do justice to a lot of the prompts in these tags. And so I thought I would just riff and do my own thing. I am going to just quickly show some standout decks. I've chosen 2 from Tarot, 2 from Oracle, and 2 from Lenormand. And these are just decks that, for one reason or another, stood out to me immediately. And I feel like, the phrase stand out is different than favorites. It's got a different connotation. I'm more comfortable with that as opposed to favorites. So anyway, let's get started. Let's do tarot first. One standout deck for 2020 is the Tarot de la Nuit. And I have talked about this deck on my channel before. I have mentioned how this is not normally an aesthetic that I go for. It's not, I'm not really into the kind of photo manipulation. Some people would describe this aesthetic as the white fantasy Barbie. I have lovingly referred to this deck as my cosplay deck or my Comic-Con deck. All descriptions are accurate. And I think this deck just, it blew me out of the water with how good of a reader it was. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's fun. It's a fun deck. And it's mood, and it's also a really balanced reader. And so even though you do have the kind of darker theme, it doesn't necessarily feel dark. There is a balance there, at least for me when I use this deck. So I feel like I've heard a few other people talk about this deck in the same way, that they're just kind of surprised at how well it reads. And then the second tarot that stands out for me in 2020 is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. And I just recently trimmed this deck because I thought maybe it would help with the shuffling. The cardstock was cutting into my hands and hurting me. And so I thought, maybe if I get rid of the borders, that might help. And it did not help. And I didn't mind the borders to begin with, so it's fine. The images still look great. The cards still look great. And I was on the fence about this deck because it's beautiful, and yet some of the images are weird or maybe, I don't know, unsettling. And I think this was another case of my being surprised at how immediately I connected with this deck, and just how quickly I grew to love working with it. And just the other night, I used this to do my friend's year ahead spread. This is the deck she chose. I laid out a few options for her, and this was her selection. Moving on to Oracle. The first deck that stands out to me for this year is the Sawyer's Nature Portals. And this is an animal-themed deck by Jamie Sawyer. And I love how it is round, but not obnoxiously, large that I can't handle the cards. I love that there are no keywords. And I love how these are animals that I would find kind of in my neck of the woods, if you will, on my side of the pond. And you know how I am, or those of you who have seen previous videos of mine where I talk about animal decks, you'll know that I have a hard time connecting with animal decks, and so I don't have many at all, very few in my collection. And the fact that this has stayed just goes to show you how great this deck is. And I just love Jamie's artwork. I really do. And then the other standout oracle this year is the Morning Calm Oracle by C.O. Kelleher. This deck focuses on Korean culture predominantly, and some other aspects of East Asian culture. And being Korean, obviously, this deck was an immediate draw for me when I first learned about it. And it's beautiful. The art is just gorgeous. And I think the key words are very appropriate. And this deck is special to me because it has been kind of an inadvertent gateway into my exploring more of my Korean culture. And so in that way, it's been a gift. And I've really been enjoying my time with this deck. I've been taking it slow and really savoring the messages. On to Lenormand. The first standout Lenormand would be the Rusted Lenormand by Dawn Michelle over at Boho Tarot. And I don't know what more I can say about this deck that I haven't said in previous videos. I think what really draws me into this deck is that the mood and the tone of the deck, it's like it transports me to like a cabin in the mountains or in the forest. And even though this is Lenormand, which is more of a kind of direct and just kind of a quick and dirty system, if you will, where, a lily is a lily, right? The sun is the sun. And yet, I use this deck and I really do feel like I am kind of stepping into a place that is just more peaceful, yes, more rustic. It feels very solitary, I guess. It feels like a hermit type deck, if you will. And so I really, really love this Lenormand. Dawn Michelle, hurry up with the tarot. Just kidding. Not really. All right, the next Lenormand I'm going to show you is the Afro Goddess Oracle. So it's not titled Lenormand, but essentially that is what it is. And this is by Andrea Furtick. Again, beautiful, vibrant art. The cards are huge for Lenormand, but I don't mind because with just 36 cards, I can handle it. Or maybe is it 37 or 38? She does have a couple extras in here. And just stunning, evocative art. And I mean, look at these backs. They are gorgeous. So I have been working with this in November and in December, and I have been finding it to be just awesome. So that is my own version of a year-end video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a good holiday season, however you choose to spend it. I'm not gonna lie, these past 2 months have been just crazy. It's been like, oh, let's pour some more kerosene over the dumpster fire that is 2020. But it is what it is, and it's fine. Everything is fine. So I am wishing you all the best, and I will see you probably in the new year. I'm not sure that I'll be able to get another video out. So Happy New Year. Happy 2021. Good riddance 2020. Fuck you, 2020.